Well, let's be honest. At 55, I realized something so uncomfortable. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was misallocating my bandwidth, my money, time, environment, emotional well-being. I had done everything right, but the life I built no longer fit the season I was in. And changing how I looked at my life changed everything. If you're in your 40s or 50s and quietly asking, is this really how I want to live? This video is for you. Hi, my name is Simone, and this is my first YouTube video. And I want to start clearly. I spent almost 28 years working in corporate America. A few years ago, I made a decision that changed my life environment completely. I left the US and moved to Portugal, not to retire, not to escape, but because I believed I was stepping into a softer chapter of my life. Actually, here's what happened. So, for 2 years, I volunteered here in Portugal. I wasn't working in the traditional sense. I lived off my savings, accessed my 401k early, and paid the penalties. What I wasn't prepared for, though, was how much money I would lose just accessing my own funds, the currency conversion, fees, and taxes. The good part is I didn't bring the stress of my old life with me. The hard part was I traded it for a different kind of anxiety because I never stopped to ask the question I should have asked sooner. When will the money run out? So, moment of truth, it didn't happen gradually. It hit me all at once. You're down to your last $6,000 and suddenly everything becomes real. Now, don't come for me in the comments. Yes, I know, rookie move. It was a rookie move. But when you've spent decades grinding, surviving, just pushing through, and then suddenly you experience freedom, peace like you've never had before, you don't rush to calculate. Let's be honest. You finally breathe. But here's what I learned the hard way. You can't afford to stay there too long because living abroad doesn't automatically mean a soft life. And a lower cost of living doesn't help when there's no income coming in. If you understand what I mean, comment below. I get it. You know, I could have worked legally, but I chose not to. I believed my savings would last a lot longer than it did. When I eventually went looking for work, my options were limited. I didn't speak the language, so I opened a business, and I was only able to keep it open for 1 year. At that point, I knew I had to move differently. So I did two things at the same time. Of course, I prayed. I've been praying, and I took aligned action. I gave myself 2 weeks to apply for positions locally. And if nothing came through, I would then spend my next 2 weeks applying for positions back in my home country. This was a make or break situation. And then I found a role. They needed an English speaker. And that's where I am now, working again full time. I'm grateful to be working, and I'll be honest with you. I'm just really exhausted. When you're working, you come home, you recover, rinse and repeat, do it all over again. This is just not the soft life I envisioned at this time in my life. What I finally understood is this: my time and emotional bandwidth were already being maxed out, and no amount of pushing was going to fix that. That's when I realized something important. Soft life isn't about location. It isn't about aesthetics. And it isn't about running away. Soft life is about decisions made with intention. And at this stage in my life, you just don't move at the same pace you used to. And honestly, why would you want to? So if you're watching this and you're in your 40s or 50s, maybe you've also done all the right things. You're working hard, you've planned, you've shown up, and now you're quietly asking, is this how I want to live the rest of my life? I understand what it feels like to question where you are in life and the path that you're on at this stage. There are things working against us at this age, honestly, but there are also things working for us. What changes everything, though, is clarity. And that's why I created this channel, not to sell a fantasy, not to pretend I have everything figured out, but to document what it really looks like to redesign your life in midlife with honesty, strategy, and intention. So, here we'll talk about late career pivots, remote income realities, relocations truths, financial rebuilding, emotional clarity, and building a life you don't need to escape from. This is not about hustle culture. This is intentional living. So, when you start over, you don't need to start from zero. You don't always need new skills. But you do need clarity, especially when we're living in this AI driven world. Clarity is about the season you're in, and clarity about what matters now, and even about how fast or slow you need to move. That's why I created the Soft Life Playbook, Clarity Edition. Now, it's a short guided process designed to help you access your bandwidth across money, time, environment, emotional well being without feeling overwhelmed. If this sounds like it could be helpful to you, then the link is in the description. And after you get clarity, you can make some choices. You can build your own plan on your own, or you can join my Soft Life Chronicles community if you want support mapping out your next steps. Or you can even book a one on one coaching session with me. Right now, Soft Life Chronicles is 45% off. All the details are below. The choice is yours, really. The support is there when you're ready. And if this video resonated with you, then please subscribe. Join me as I document my next chapter honestly, with intention. In the next video, we're going to talk about the myths women believe after 40. And I'll leave you with this: soft life isn't an escape. It's decisions made with intention. And if you're here, you're allowed to make those decisions too. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.